Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you ready? It's showtime.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Gary Jackson with this big old logo over my head. By the way, I know it's silly. I just love that intro. It makes me laugh. Anyway, the people that make me laugh here in Knoxville, I want to introduce them before we get to our amazing headliners and the people coming down from New York. I want to give it up for the one and the only Liz Brooks. What's up, Miss Liz Brooks?
Hey.
How are you? Hey.
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you doing? And I can't miss out on Tyler Gallant. Come on in, Tyler.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
By the way, your last name, Tyler, sounds like a superhero name. It's Gallant, right? I want to make sure I get that right.
It's Gallant, the adjective. Yeah.
Well, I sorry. I should have.
Okay.
Maybe that's something I should have prepped for. So at least
everyone
Brooks.
says it different. It's
Am
all
I
good.
saying it correctly, Miss Liz Brooks?
Yep.
Okay,
It's pretty good.
I just want to make sure. Yeah, and watch out as I get to the headliner. I'm gonna destroy everybody's name. So I'm glad to have you both on here. For the Knoxville scene. I did want to ask you one question before we bring the headliners on. How do you feel the Knoxville scene is doing right now for both of you?
Oh gosh, it's growing so much. It's amazing. I celebrated my 10-year anniversary during COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a crazy time. But especially after everything opened up after lockdown, we really everybody hit the ground running. I feel like between everybody booking shows, booking cool, interesting venues, but everybody's comedy is getting exponentially better. Everyone's working together and everyone's kind of bouncing ideas. It feels like a really exciting time to be doing it.
And
for sure.
And by the way, too, I feel that way, too. I love everything coming together. And one of the persons I wanted to bring to the show that was outside of our city of Knoxville was Holly Ballantyne. And so I wanted to introduce Holly, who's coming up from Atlanta, who knows what it's like to build out a comedy scene. And I'm glad that you got your camera working there. Wow. How you doing, Holly? I couldn't do it with just your voice because you're so lovely.
Oh, stop it. Thank you. I woke up like this. No, I'm excited to be here. Sorry it took me a minute to get my ducks in a row.
You know what? It's on internet time. This is the future. This is the past. It doesn't matter. So we're just glad we have you here. So that's good. And, there's another person that's coming that actually originated from Atlanta. She's going to be opening for Caitlin as well. I want to give it up for Jill Weiner. Jill,
hello.
And am I saying that correctly, by the way, Jill?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to say, and you're from Atlanta originally?
I am originally, yeah.
Like what
but
part?
I didn't start.
Like in the city or like Marietta? Like what part?
I spent my first 8 years in Marietta, and then we moved to the northern suburb of Sandy Springs.
Oh, nice. And now you're a resident of New York. I'm actually introducing you as a New York comic.
That's fine. I didn't start comedy in Atlanta, so.
Oh, you didn't? Did you want to? Did you try to do an open mic or?
No, I started comedy in San Francisco. I moved around quite a bit, so.
Got it. Well, I want to bring that up because Caitlin's originally from San Francisco. So let's bring Caitlin into this. I feel like we're doing a whole Brady Bunch thing here. So I'm putting everyone in a box. Here we go. Hey, what's up, Miss Caitlin?
Hello. What's up, sluts? How we doing?
By the way, how many times have you had someone destroy your last name?
Oh, I mean, I basically go by anything that starts with a P at this point. So whatever you say out of your mouth, I'll probably be like, yeah, that's me. Okay, sure. I'll do it.
Do that. What is the truly Italian way to say your last name?
Peluffo.
Peluffo. And are you
Yeah.
from Napoli? Are you from Bologna? Where's your family from? Do you know?
We're from Genoa.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're Northern Italian. That's why I'm so pale. Yeah. I didn't get the tan. My mom is Irish. My dad is Italian. So I'm just an alcoholic. That's it.
So I was going to ask, for you and Jill, have you ever been to Knoxville before? Is this your first time ever coming to Knoxville, Tennessee?
I think so. I don't know.
I think
You're
it's
in
my first time
Asheville.
too.
Okay, Jill, this is
I
your
think
first
it's my
time?
first time. Yeah.
But Holly, I know you came up. We met during a previous show, and you opened for Tim Young. Loved you, and I said I had to bring you back. But you never performed in Knoxville before. I think Aaron brought you in, I believe.
Yeah, I had never been there at all. Yeah.
Oh.
Ever. Yeah, I love it there. It's beautiful.
Well, I think it's because too, y'all bring the energy. Y'all were bringing amazing energy, and I think also too. I think Liz and Tyler can say this too. Is I think the audience are desperate. I mean, they can drive to Atlanta, they can drive to Chattanooga, but they want stuff local. And we have the big Coliseums. I saw Chris Rock's last performance before he did the Baltimore live Netflix show, and it's cool. You get to see them, but you're so far away. And like Caitlin and Jill, when you're doing like the Comedy Cellar or doing something where people are in your face, it feels different. It feels intimate. And that's what I wanted to try to bring for this Hip2B².
Oh yeah, intimacy. That's my main thing. Yeah. If you come to the show, I will make out with every single one of you.
Yeah. Nice. Mono.
Like Elvis.
So how does most of you know each other, right? So I know Holly, Caitlin, Jill. So Jill and Caitlin, did y'all meet in San Francisco years ago, or how did y'all meet?
We met in New York City at an open mic.
Okay.
We met at an open mic, and I had a date with a guy, another comic, afterwards. And Jill didn't know anyone, so she was just like, "Hi guys, can I come?" And she crashed the date. And then, yeah, she crashed the date, but then it was great because the guy ended up being a loser. So I dropped the date and kept Jill. So it was perfect.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Our meet
Was he
cute.
funny?
Yeah.
Was he funny?
No, of course not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Jill, do you remember what sparked your interest? Did you see Caitlin perform first? You just meet her as a human being without superpowers first?
Well, I saw Caitlin perform at an open mic at this bar called Stairs, which I don't think is around anymore. But she talked about having bed bugs, and she had a weird birthmark, and I have had both of those things. So I was like, "It's kismet, baby. Friends for life. I'm glomming onto her, even if she tries to shake me."
Wow.
No hugs at the show.
And did you have you seen, I don't say his name, we don't want to kind of shame him, but do you ever see that comic that you ever went out with again when you're doing shows, or are y'all way above? He's still doing open mics and you guys are crushing it.
I don't know. I think he's still doing shows. God bless him. I hope he is.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
I didn't mean to put you in a
No.
that guy. Fuck that guy. Why are we talking about it? Let him go.
No, he did break my heart, but it's fine.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I think he's out doing Poughkeepsie somewhere. I think he's fine. So
it's not about him. Back to you.
Yeah.
So how did you meet Holly? So Holly has done some shows with you as well. How did you and Holly meet?
Sweet girl Holly, we met in Atlanta. One of the festivals. I've done so many festivals down in Atlanta. I'm sure either Laughing Skull or I knew you before the last festival, West End. So one of the festivals we got together, hung out, fast friends, as they say.
Right.
And she's also really funny and really nice. So it was, this is going to be a great weekend. I'm so excited.
Well, what I wanted to do, I wanted it to be a vacation, really. Seriously. I wanted it, except for Liz and Tyler, they live here. But I wanted all of you guys just to have fun. And because it's my last show for the season. So I just wanted to hey, put it on cruise control and let you guys have fun. That was my number one thing. And Holly, how do you remember your first time? Did you see Caitlin perform, or did you see her as like a normal human being first? How did you meet her?
Yes, so I actually the first time we met wasn't a festival. It was a show in Atlanta, but I came to watch Stephen because Stephen and I had like done some writing and stuff online during COVID. And then as soon as I saw her on stage, I was like, Stephen, I'm so sorry, but your girlfriend's my new favorite comic.
That's great.
And then we had her and Stephen both come headline West End Comedy Fest. So that was the most recent one. And that's where I met Jill too.
Yeah.
Oh, so you met Jill before as well?
Yeah,
Yes.
a couple of times. Yeah, we've done a couple festivals together.
I feel
And
like we're
fast
creating
friends
like
as well.
I feel like we're creating a rat pack now, like a girl rat pack. This is
You can just say that.
like, yeah. Who's the Dean Martin? Who's the Sammy Davis? You know what I mean? So yeah.
Whichever one didn't have chlamydia. I want to be that one.
That's not very true.
Yeah. So I also wanted to bring up, one of the other reasons why I wanted to kind of do this, because, I ran comedy clubs overseas and I love the Knoxville scene. And I wanted to bring some of the comics that I wanted to see that no one was kind of booking and mash them together with some of my favorite comics. And the reason being was COVID. I mean, the pandemic just sucked for all of us from a comedy scene perspective. What were your horror stories? Like, let's go down the line. What like, Tyler, did you have to do like a horror COVID show on a Zoom call, or, what was your COVID comedy?
No. So I started after COVID, actually. So
you were lucky.
Yeah, I wasn't doing it beforehand. So I just got to hear everyone else's horror stories and not have to experience it. So it's kind of nice.
And Tyler, you're going to be the only kind of guy that's kind of opening for this. You got to be intimidated.
Yeah, kind of guy.
Are you a little intimidated, nervous? No pressure, by the way.
No. I'm okay. Yeah.
Wrong answer.
Welcome to our world, Tyler.
I know a little bit of everyone on the show, and everyone is very, very funny. So I'm just happy to be with funny people.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, one of the things I think I've heard from Liz, talking about some of this, is some horror stories of bookers just being assholes. You know what I mean? And just like being jerks. What I love about what you've done, Liz, is you're kind of an OG in the comedy scene here in Knoxville. You helped with Tiny Stage. You've helped with, push some of these asshole dudes who just wanted to book a bunch of comedy and try to hook up with you. I mean, you've had some horror stories, both pre-COVID and in COVID. Yeah.
I'll go with the ha-ha funny, not the aw funny.
Got it.
But probably one of the best ones, it was this guy that came in and he had done a couple of open mics, and then he came to my open mic that was at a gay bar and started at 11:30. And I was like, I don't think that that's going to be a place for you, bud. Like, you can come to my mic. I have hard rules, but I would really love to see you try to break them. And he did. And I watched a drag queen. He got up on stage and he got all pissed off because his opening line was, he pointed to this table of girls at the front row and he goes, duck, 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 slut.
Oh.
And the girl immediately goes, you. And that was it.
Oh,
and then,
man.
like, because he realized, I guess, halfway through the show that he was, halfway through his set, that he was in a gay bar. I think he walked in with his eyes closed backwards. I don't know.
He had no idea.
Yeah, no, the detective finally sniffed out the mystery and saw all of the pride flags on the walls. So he refused to get off stage unless somebody put a finger in his ass.
I'm sorry. He said that on stage?
He said that on stage.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And
how did that
I was
go?
like, well, the bartender, who was in full drag with about 3-inch long stiletto nails, marched up on stage, pulled down his pants.
Seriously.
And then said, there, can you fucking get off stage now? Jesus. And then walked back over, washed her hands, thankfully, and then just continued serving drinks like nothing happened. And the guy immediately drove home, I hope crying.
Oh, my God. Have you ever
You
seen
don't
him
have to
again?
conceal my identity any longer. You can.
The last time I saw him, he was trying to get people to come on his podcast, and it was one of the funny. It was literally called something like Sloppy Joe and the Trigger Boys or something like that. Like it was
Wow, that's
it was insane. So yeah, I would say that's probably one of the craziest ones.
But I do want to do a little shout out for you. So I know that you were thinking about doing the Edinburgh Festival for
yeah, absolutely. The set for that won't be done yet, but it's because of, I'm assuming what you're alluding to, that I do.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. So for the other comedians, Holly, Kaylin, Jill, talk about your side hustle. Well, it's really not a hustle. It's a beautiful sport. It's hard as hell.
Thank you. So I do pole dancing and lyra. And I'm actually I'm currently training for a competition in October in Atlanta. But I do a lot of aerial art stuff. I've got a couple of bruises you can see here and here. I'm the person that gets really, really high up on the top of the pole and then flips upside down. And I do a lot of aerial tricks. And Edinburgh Fringe Fest, the one that I'm applying for is I'm going to be doing stand up and pole dancing at the same time. Where I'll have a head mic. I've got about 5 minutes down before I feel like I'm going to black out. It's very, 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 very hard to maintain breath and hold poses and stuff. But it just comes from strength training. I can leg lift 250 now.
Dang.
So it just takes a whole lot of working out, and it really helps with the anxiety too. But yeah, I've been pole dancing now for 4 years, and I've only broken/dislocated 2 bones.
Actually, that's how I met you. Actually, my wife is a huge fan of yours, and you did a show where you couldn't dance because you'd broken your arm. I think it was your arm. And you did a whole set on breaking your arm during pole dance. And my wife's like, "You've got to book this lady. You've got to book her." So,
yeah. I think I still either had the cast or the scar was so gnarly I couldn't not address it because I had to have orthopedic surgery and plate and a bunch of screws put in.
Wow.
I mean, the most embarrassing part was having to have somebody take my shoes off in the emergency room. I was in 7-inch stiletto heels and just yoga pants and a sports bra, and had to have somebody help cut me out of those. But no, it's one of my favorite things in the world, and it is so much fun to do. Oh my God, it's great.
And by the way, too, so one of the things is I feel like I really do have a superstar cast of all the comics I wanted to see kind of together on one stage. I think I actually got to add you later because I couldn't get a hold of you, and so I'm glad, Liz, you were able to kind of join in. And Holly is also one of those too. Holly, I wanted to kind of get you on the show because I don't know. I think when I hadn't seen your comedy before, but you destroy so hard and you run so many festivals. I mean, what's the Atlanta scene like? I mean, especially during COVID. How was that during COVID? How did you survive with all the stuff that you're doing?
Okay, I just want to give a disclaimer. I'm in my son's bedroom because it's the only place that there was no sound, but his desk is too short to put my laptop on. So I'm literally holding my laptop in the air like Mufasa did with Simba. So that's why I'm
you have so many pop. I mean, oh my goodness.
So many Funko Pops.
Oh, this is my youngest son's room. My oldest son has 3 times the amount. It's insane. Yeah,
that's incredible.
That's where all my money goes, right behind me. Right back there.
Wow.
Yeah. So if it's shaky, it's because I'm not as strong as Liz is, and this is very
It's like a coffee commercial, so it's all good. You're looking great, actually.
I love comedy. No.
But how was Atlanta during the pandemic? I mean, how did y'all? I mean, what was one of your horror stories?
Oh God. I don't really know that I have a specific horror story. I mean, it was awful. We didn't have anything for a while. I don't think we shut down as long as some of the other scenes. In fact, a lot of comics, I got to meet a lot of comics because they're like, "Oh, Atlanta's open. Let's go down there and do some shows." But it was hard at first, just doing the Zoom shows. I haven't felt that violated by the internet since I lost my virginity on AOL. I don't know, just I don't know. I mean, getting COVID sucked. I definitely got COVID from a comedy show, so that was a worse. They were like, "Oh, it's fine," and then it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, the thing that I always talk about is I actually kind of got known like right before COVID. So there were some people that didn't really like do any comedy during COVID or after, like right after. So they didn't really know who I was. And then I did this show, and it was like one of my like first bigger shows. And the host, I'd never met him before. And when he brought me up, he's like, "Well, I've never seen your next comic perform, but I've heard she's been killing it." And I was like, "Thanks, that was it." Nice intro. Not a good guy. But I don't have any like. I mean, definitely no finger in the butt stuff. Or kind of hard to follow. I should have gone first.
Yeah, we should have. Yeah, we should have went the opposite way. Well, with that being said, without all that, Jill, what is some of your horror? Right, and that way, by the way, too, Holly, I feel so bad for your hands.
Oh,
if you need me to just put your, I don't want you to hurt yourself there or whatever.
I'm going to carry Caitlin onto the stage at the show. So I'm
fantastic.
You better.
And so, Jill, so you were in San Francisco. You lived in Atlanta, lived in San Francisco, now live in New York.
Yes.
What's your trajectory? How did you make your way in that direction?
Well, I moved to San Francisco after college. I went to college in Boston, and it was too cold there, so I wanted to live in a city that didn't have a winter.
Right.
So that's why I moved to the old Frisky Siskey, and then I lived there for about 8 years before I started doing comedy. And then after doing comedy for a couple of years, I decided to make the big move to the East Coast. My family is also in Georgia, so it's closer for them. My brother lives in New York, so it just made sense.
Are they going to come up, or are they going to wait for you to go and perform in Atlanta?
No, we don't. My parents and my comedy, we don't really mix.
I totally get it.
It's complicated, and that's for a different podcast about mental health.
But go ahead. I'm sorry, Joe.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you the question that what I love also about your comedy, not only you're a great stand-up, you kill in these roast battles. And my understanding is you're the winner of the first female winner of these roast battles. I know there's others coming, but is that true, or did I read that wrong?
No, I've done a lot of roasts. Holly and I actually roasted each other, and she beat me handily.
What?
In Texas. And yeah, I've done a lot of roasts. I think I get my my sardonic, mean, sarcastic edge from my mother. And that's really who I channel when I roast. Yeah. Because you can say things that are cutting, but in kind of a nicer, you know what I mean? It's a very passive aggressive. Anyway, I don't want to give too many of my secrets. But.
And, I actually had somebody, and I know you probably get this. I just want to get it out of the way. I had someone ask me, they're like, "Oh, is she family to the person, who I'm talking about in New York? The one that was married to an amazing wife, an amazing woman, and he screwed it up." Yeah. Anyway, so sorry, you're not family at all. I
don't think so. We spell our names a little differently, but I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I have some perverted tendencies. No, I'm just kidding. They're running the family, so
right.
No, I don't think we're related. But
so it's going to be an intimate show.
Yeah, it would be
very intimate.
It's like a chat, chat roulette instead of or whatever.
Right.
But,
yeah.
And let me ask you though, how did you get involved in comedy from San Francisco to New York? I mean, what was the turning point for you? What made you start to get into it?
It was something I always wanted to do, and then I think as I got a little older, because I started later than a lot of people start. I started when I was 32.
Okay.
And
you're 33 now. I can tell.
Yeah. Actually, I've been de-aging. It's crazy. I'm 70. No, I took a class. I took a comedy class, clown college, we called it in San Francisco. And it just kind of stuck, and I loved it. And then I, just kept doing it.
And by the way, too, the bravery. I'm just going to be very honest. I was lucky to do comedy overseas, but never in New York. Well, I did Gotham, but that's because I wasn't that good. but I just tried it. You went all in. Like, you didn't just go and visit and come back. You moved there. I mean, it takes, I mean, cojones or lack of cojones. You don't need
I
cojones.
guess, but like, what the fuck else am I gonna do? You know?
Those damn things up. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so I guess that leads to Caitlin. So Caitlin, I know that you've been doing, I know, I saw you in Laugh Your Ash Flaw. That's how we first met. It was probably a brief 30 seconds, but I just loved your set so much. You were so powerful. I think all of us will agree, there's certain comics when they get up on stage, there's just an energy that follows them. And you really brought that energy. And you were just, I think you were just kind of an opening act at that time, or just doing a tour, just wanting to do, but I just knew you were going to blow up. And how did you get started? Like, how did this all begin for you?
Well, I always wanted to do comedy. It was something I always thought I would be good at, but I was too chicken shit to try it. I thought you had to go to school for it. I thought you had to go to Harvard in order to be a good comic. And then I went to an open mic and I realized, no, anybody can do this shit. You just need a thumb and a dream. So I literally just Googled how to start stand-up comedy, and it
in San Francisco?
In New York City. I started in New York.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I've been in New York for a long time.
Okay.
But I started in New York. I Googled how to start stand-up comedy, and it sent me to a seminar, like a free seminar, where it teaches you how to like go to open mics and, stuff like that. Basically, it just taught you how to get to an open mic. And I was like, oh, great. But I went, and at the end of the seminar, they pull a name out of the hat, and whoever got their name pulled got a free class, and they pulled my name out of the hat.
Wow.
And so I had to do it. And so from then on, it was just kind of 0 to 100. I became obsessed, and I was doing it like 30 times a week for the first like 2-3 years I was doing comedy.
And how does your family feel about it? I mean, you said your father's Italian, your mother's Irish. Are they embrace it, or did I mix that up?
Yeah. I mean, when I told my mother, she was thrilled, because before this I was doing performative video art, and she was like, well, what the hell is this? So imagine how lost I had to have been for my mom to be like, comedy, great. Let's do comedy. Yes, right. Exactly. So she was thrilled, and they're both very supportive. My dad whenever I keep my location on my phone so that they can see where I am. And so I'll get messages from my parents that are like, oh, how's Knoxville? How's wherever the hell I was, Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah.
It's been a long day. And then he'll send me like little articles, 10 best things to do in Louisville. It's very sweet. Aww. Yeah. So I have very supportive parents. And when I'm in the city or in San Francisco, my mom will come to every single show and just sit in the back. She's partially deaf, so she just sits like this and just watches. I'm extremely lucky. Right. I don't deserve them.
By the way, too, we're all envious. I wish I could have my parents be as supportive as your parents. Could your parents be my parents?
I mean, happily. Louise and Gary will support you. All right.
I'm sorry. Is that your dad's name?
Gary. Yes.
Shut up. Your dad's name is Gary. Mine. I'm Gary.
Look at that. Yeah, I think I knew that, and that's why I said yes to the show. I think that.
There's not many of us, because Gary's got a sexy name. Like, give it to me, Gary. No one says that.
No, Gare Bear. That's what I call him.
That's what they. And I didn't want to say that with your dad. I suddenly realized I just used a sexual reference for your dad's name. I'm so sorry.
I hope my dad gets it. Get it in, Papa.
But I do know one thing I do want to kind of bring up is your transition. I mean, your transformation, because you were full. I wouldn't say you were. When I first met you and saw your energy and your comedy, you were kind of a caricature of yourself, kind of in some ways, I felt. And then now you're just becoming your own. Like, do you feel that way too? Or do you feel like it's the same you, but just, ego, id you? Or how do you feel about your comedy?
I feel like I'm getting more comfortable on stage. I feel like after you perform a certain amount of times, when you go on stage, especially I found this if you're performing more than 5 shows in a night,
Yeah.
you don't really you can't really afford to flip a switch. You just kind of have to be yourself.
Right.
And that became easier and easier and easier with the more reps you do. And so it just now I'm way more comfortable in what I have to say and how I say it, and just in my own skin. So yeah.
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. I was just going to say, Mike Kaplan gave a huge compliment to you because, I asked him, I said, when he was here performing, by the way, he did his Edinburgh show that he debuted in Edinburgh. It was just a phenomenal 55-minute show.
Wow.
It was just incredible. But I said, the comics that are in New York, what are the ones you look forward to? Your top 3, and you were up there. I think you were number 1 or 2. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he was just so full of awe about you. So I was very honored.
Love Mike. He's a sweet boy. He's so sweet and so meticulous with his joke writing. I really admire him for that. It is word for word exactly what he wants to say, and he does it so quickly. I'm sure that show must have been fantastic.
Fantastic. The only words I can think of for that show is parentheses. We all write jokes, right? That you put them in little boxes and then they all connect to another. He is just a big algebra expression. And I hate math, but he just was able to put it together. Anyway, it was just a great show. So anyway,
yeah,
I'm just super excited to have all of you here. And what I wanted to try to do as we're kind of closing this out, I wanted everybody to be able to plug shows. So I want you to come to Knoxville. So I'm very excited about all of you showing up in Knoxville and hitting the town. So I'm going to make sure that my goal is to make sure you fall in love with Knoxville. So Liz and Tyler, you both have to help me. What are some things that they should do when they're here in Knoxville for the first time? Knoxbox, maybe.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, okay. Depending on your feelings on dive bars, your girl gotcha. There is a honky tonk karaoke bar that you can smoke inside that's cash only, beer only.
Nice.
And it's called Marie's. And they're open until 3:00 in the morning. And the guy that runs the DJ wears like a sweatband and he's like in his 70s and he'll yell at you if you say curse words. It's great. All of the coasters are bail bond stuff. If you're looking, I honestly like Knoxville is such a foodie drinking city. Yeah. I think that's my favorite thing about it. There's a couple of restaurants that just opened up. There's one cocktail bar in South Knox called Fly By Night.
Oh yeah, the 70s bar.
Yeah, they're full 1970s look and menu. Like you can get a Harvey Wallbanger. Who can get that? That's incredible.
Yeah.
And like it's all shag carpet and stuff and full disco. And then just down the road, they're opening in like 2 days. It's Mesitas empanadas, and they have empanadas and arepas and like pansobas, and it's all like Ecuadorian and Colombian deep fried stuff, and it's so good. It's so good. Everything is amazing. I just stopped by their food truck earlier, and oh my god, like I'm gonna have the meat sweats in like 15 minutes. Like we might have to wrap this up soon, man. Like
yeah, you're making yourself hungry.
God, it's so
drinking.
good.
So if you're in recovery, this is going to be a tough city.
Big time, big time. It's this is a heavy drinking city.
Yeah. I was going to say that, it is a drinking culture. It's a fantastic. Are any of you vegan or any of you? I know Mike was vegan and he found one of the greatest vegan restaurants he says he's ever been to, which I was really flattered by. That was here in Knoxville called Copita. So I didn't know if any of you were, but he took pictures of it, took pictures of the plaque because it was ranked as the best vegan restaurant in the South in 2023 or something to that effect. But so let me know whatever you want. The goal is to make sure that you can have fun. I know Friday's gonna be busy. We have a lot of television interviews, radio interviews, but Saturday, you girls going wild. Just go and have fun, and I don't have to see you until like 4 or 4:30, so you're good to go.
I am getting a pedicure if anybody wants to come.
Oh,
it'll be pretty fun. Doing some mani pedis.
And Tyler, from your side, like, is there anything you would say that they would need to see? Because they can walk everywhere where they are. They don't need an Uber. They can go. Anything that you would recommend from a Knoxville perspective?
Really, I would say just kind of walking around the city. If you don't have time to go to the Smokies, I mean, I love hiking. I love getting out to the Smoky Mountains. But if you don't have time for that, go see Market Square. Go walk around. It's really nice. It's a very like walkable city. Yeah. What you're used to with New York and.
Yeah. And the weather's going to be great while you all of you are here. It was going to be bad weather, and all of a sudden it cleared up. So I think it's going to be great.
Awesome.
Is there any questions that you have for us before we wrap this thing up? Anything you want to, or how should the audiences prepare for all of you?
I think they should prepare by getting tickets. I would love to perform for people. Please get your tickets. It's going to be a loud, fun night. I'm really loud. Jill's a little kooky. Ollie's a little kooky as well. By the sounds of the thumb and the butt, I think we're going to have a kooky situation. It's going to be very fun. And then I think our sweet boy here is going to even us out. That'll be
going to ground us.
Yes. He's going to represent the patriarchy, so that'll be good.
There's going to be a lot of teachers in the crowd, so we're doing a big special to try to, because they just started school, and University of Tennessee just started as well. So a lot of the university students, professors. So it's cool. You're the last big thing before football starts. So get ready.
I love teachers. My mom's a teacher. Teachers are crazy. They are the drunkest people I've ever met in my life. They're so fun. Yes, them and nurses. They know how to rage, baby.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Just say Rocky Top when you're on stage, and everyone will lose.
Everyone will hoot and holler.
Yeah.
Rocky Top.
Just say Rocky Top, and everybody will start screaming.
Yep.
All right, sounds like a strip club, but sure, let's do
it. Say that.
But what I wanted to do too, as we're about to close, I wanted to get everybody to say this too. So all teachers, all nurses, everybody in EMT, but let's just focus on the teachers and nurses. They all can get in for $20. So we want to make sure that they are having, I mean, come on, nurses, what they have to go through, what the teachers are going through. I want them to come and laugh. So make sure, you tell your friends and family $20 for all the nurses and teachers and get here and laugh. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool.
Okay, well, let's wrap this thing up. Y'all are so amazing. I want you to get back to your day and your evening. Cannot wait to entertain all of you and fall in love with Knoxville. And we will be seeing you in less than a week. So thank you so much. Please be safe.
Thank you, Gare Bear.
Well, and tell your dad what an awesome name. We're the last, the last Gary.
I think so. You guys might be the last.
Yeah, I think
only Garys on Earth.
Our name extinct. It goes extinct. They say in 2055. That's the last of our names.
Oh,
that sounds so. I like to end on a downer. That's how I like to roll with it. Yeah.
Perfect.
But anyway, see you at Hip2B². Thanks, everybody. As Caitlin was saying, please go buy your tickets now. And we're going to close out one of my favorite little bits that Caitlin does and see everybody in Knoxville. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
So I did what a lot of women do. I bought a little face cream, a little anti-wrinkle, retinol, whatever the hell. I spent $98 on this shit. Yeah, to me, that's a lot of money. So I have very high expectations, okay? I remember when I was 13, I asked my uncle if he liked my shirt. And he said, "Darling, if I told you how good you look, they'd throw me in jail." That's how good I want to look. Yeah, for $98, I want incest jail face. Yeah, by the end of that bottle, I better be Woody Allen's type.